Well, welcome to Nightique. I'm Edward St. Pé. Well, we continue with great musical guests on our show. We've got a great jazz bass player, the premier jazz bass player probably around the area, Mr. Raphael Sims, and he's with us tonight. He's going to talk about his career, his travels in music, and what he's got planned for the future. And keep in mind, our shows are also archived. All the shows are at Nightique, NIGHTIQUE.com. We'll be back with Raphael Sims after this. Build your career with Ingalls Shipbuilding. Go to www.huntingtoningalls.com/careers or call 888-935-1507. Raphael Sims with us. Raphael, thank you for being with us.
Hey, Edward. Great to be here.
Man, it's in the history of modern jazz in Mississippi, in our area. I mean, you are the guy. You take the cake. You are the guy with the upright bass.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I don't know about that.
It's the truth. You know it, too.
I've had a great time, still enjoying it.
And so, Raphael, tell us the trajectory of your career, how you got started, and what has kept your heart into music all these years.
Well, I am from Grenada, Mississippi, and it was a very musical town. Had a band, you know, when I was about 11 years old or something like that, and actually was doing little gigs. And a lot of the guys from my town, some really great musicians, started playing around town. And then from there, I pretty much knew what I wanted to do from show and tell in the first grade. And when I got a little Mattel guitar, I knew then that was probably what I was going to gravitate toward. And left there and, you know, spent some time in different places, you know, Los Angeles, and lived in Memphis. I actually moved here from Memphis, and was playing on Beale Street there and got a call to come down here and start working, and I did, and I was glad to find there was great music here, and particularly I was tickled that there were some great jazz players here. So
has that always been your love, jazz?
It's of course, like every other kid, I've started out rock and roll.
Right.
You know, my mom sort of set the ball rolling. She took me to see Elvis when I was about that high, and went to see the Beatles when I was about that high.
You saw the Beatles?
Yeah, my mom was a fan and a great singer and musician herself. So, you know, I got to kind of go and I got exposed at an early age, and that was pretty much the hook there.
I can remember as a little boy seeing the Beatles on television, I guess on Ed Sullivan, and the impact that had. Wasn't that, seemed to me, you know, when I look back, it was like one of the greatest pivotal experiences, you know, as a young person that I can remember.
Well, I think it, particularly for people of our generation, it was just a seminal moment for all of us. I mean, you either were going to become a fan at that point, or you were going to pursue that lifestyle and you know, occupation of playing music. And you know, so I started with rock and roll, and, you know, discovered that I lived in the middle of the blues universe and enjoyed blues. But my dad had always been kind of a jazz aficionado, and you know, had some records. I remember he used to tell me about Count Basie, and at a young age he went to see Duke and things like that. So jazz kind of caught hold, and you know, I do a lot of things to make a living, but I really love it. And of course, you know, I've always thought, you know, jazz is blues that swings. So, you know, I'm glad to have an opportunity to play jazz and blues anytime. You know.
And it's still, you know, it's such a classic art form. I mean, and you play all the standards. I mean, I've heard you through the years, and
I don't know. I can fake most anything, but yeah, I enjoy it. You know, there's great players here in the city.
So the upright bass, tell us. I mean, we don't see that many upright basses unless you're in the jazz purview. I mean,
well, the real bassists, you know, are guys like Dr. Branch, like London Branch, who are the absolute masters of their craft, and they've learned the classical and everything like that. I started out with an electric bass, and sitting by my sister's record player, picking out Motown songs and stuff when I was a kid. And then I bought a bass later on and just sort of taught myself. I don't have formal training, you know, or anything, but I just kind of taught myself how to play. So I have pretty deplorable technique and things. I'm sure that some of the bassists, you know, classical guys would think. But anyway, just sort of grew on me, you know. And now I probably play at least half the time, you know, or more on upright.
And it's you play other things too. You've got tell us about the show that you guys do, which appears around the state and beyond.
Mississippi Live. It's Raphael Sims presents Mississippi Live, and it's a real interesting thing. My buddy Malcolm White, you know, guru of all things Mississippi, and your friend as well. Years ago, for one of the governor's inaugurals, Malcolm said, "Man, I need you to put together a show about Mississippi for this thing. It's going to be huge, and you can do it and everything." So that sort of sowed the seeds for what later became Mississippi Live. And Mississippi Live is a show. It's got anywhere from, you know, 15 to 20 people. It's a big show. It has an orchestra, and we have feature entertainers. And it's a themed show in that it starts with the Delta Blues, and then we walk it all the way through musically, through just everything, you know, that was emanated from Mississippi.
Which
know,
is a
from
lot.
from the country, you know, the Jimmy Rogers, you know, and all the way the rock and roll, you know, from Tupelo, you know, the whole thing. And then we take it back to the blues. And in the process of one of the last parts of the show, you know, we say that's a look at our Mississippi music history and heritage, but, you know, to have more history and heritage, we got to have some people that are going to keep it going. So we'll bring a young person out, and we're always looking at these young people. And we've had a couple who done very well. Charlie Worsham came and did the shows with me, and he's signed a record deal and just got a hit out right now. And then Nat Smith, Wayne and Janelle Smith's son, outstanding cellist. I mean, he's been on Austin City Limits twice that I know of with Sarah Giroux. So we're real proud of the show, and we sort of do it on demand. It's not something that we go and set up and just do, you know, for the public generally.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of expensive to put it on and everything.
So what type of situations do you find would be the right fit for a performance for that?
Well, we've worked a lot with MDA Tourism, and you know, that would be Malcolm and Chris Chapman and you know, people over there. And we've done a lot of things, for example, things at the Beau Rivage, and you know, we have a lot of people approach us, conventions and different things like that.
So how does one reach you about this?
It's just the easiest thing I can say is it's rsims@bellsouth.net. And if my phone box is full, yeah, I know, folks, you can text me.
So we can.
I'll get back to you.
Yeah, we'll make sure we get the URL up, the email address.
Great,
actually.
great.
But yeah, well, now you're going to play for us on this show, right?
If you like for me to,
yeah,
yes,
we
sir.
Very much. You've got a pianist with you today?
I do, man. The great Jimmy Jarrett. He's a legend here. You know, he's another one of those guys that he started out at a young age and got on the bus with Little Milton, you know, the great blues artist, and rode up and down the road. And Jimmy's played everywhere with a lot of people. And currently, Jimmy and I are both playing at Table 100 every Sunday. I play the jazz brunch from 11 to 2 with Jerry Puckett on guitar, and we have Steve.
This is
Kincaid.
Table 100 in Flowood in Jackson.
Yeah,
Jackson
yeah.
area. Yeah.
And then Jimmy plays in the evening. He plays piano, and it's really cool.
Yeah, that's perfect music for that type of. It's almost like a dinner theater environment, you know.
Yeah, and you know, we're so fortunate to have great players in this town. You know, Charlie Wicker did it with us for a long time. We call him the human jukebox, but he was with the symphony for 51 years. And of course Puckett, who, you know, was just has a pedigree that's unbelievable. But I mentioned Wicker played with the symphony. Another thing that I wish people would think about more, and maybe a lot of the younger people could embrace that we have a symphony here in this town. I mean, there are towns a lot bigger than Jackson that don't have a full-blown symphony orchestra, So Jackson is very much a music town, and we appreciate everybody that gets out and supports live, particularly live music.
So, okay, tonight, what will you be playing for us?
Well, I think I'm going to do a jazz tune with Jimmy. It's called "There'll Never Be Another You." It's a standard, and let Jimmy work out a little bit on that one, and that'll be a lot of fun. And then there's another one actually that we do in the Mississippi Live show. It's called "Let the Good Times Roll." Heard everybody from Ray Charles, but in particular our Mississippi's own B.B. King do that tune. And then there's another song that has sort of a story of its own that I'll do for you also.
So we get 3 songs, huh?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, the third one is also in the Mississippi Live show. It's called "Mississippi Feels Like Coming Home." And I did this song for MDA for tourism.
It's an original song.
Yeah, a few years ago they took the song and used it to promote tourism and on in their media, radio, television, and everything. And we closed the show, Mississippi Live show, with that song. So anyway, I'll kind of
That's great.
take a stab at that one for you.
Okay, perfect. Okay, well, we're looking forward to it. We're going to go to a break, and we're going to come back with Raphael Sims live here in the studio. So stay with us. This is Nightique.
Hey everybody, let's have a little fun. You only live once, and when you're dead, you're done. Let the good times roll. let the good time roll. I don't care if you're young or old, let the good times roll. Hey everybody, stop talking all that trash. If you're gonna have some fun, you better spend some cash and let the good time roll. Let the good time roll. Don't care if you're young or old, you just gotta let the good time roll. Jimmy Jarrett, play the keys, man. Well, you gotta let the good time roll. 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 Come on, everybody, let the good time roll. Let the good time roll, y'all.
Since 1849, Carter Jewelers has been a part of Jackson's rich history. Over 163 years later, we've not only survived, Carter Jewelers has flourished. From generation to generation, we've established a tradition of excellence. Our reputation is built on customer satisfaction, service, and trust. Every piece of jewelry is handpicked, so you know you're getting the best value.
Nobody says I do like we do at Carter Jewelers.
Come see us and be part of our history.
All right, this is a song about Mississippi. This is a song about home. Have you ever been kissed by a warm Gulf breeze? Sipped iced tea beneath magnolia trees? Sat on the porch and just talked a while? Then I know a place that'll make you smile. Have you ever had the blues inside of you? Gone down to the Delta, let them play for you. Seen the Mississippi rolling deep and proud, or hit the jackpot and laughed out loud. From the hills down to the Delta, Jackson skyline to the pines, there's a place I know, so come on. Mississippi feels like coming home. She can tell you stories, she can sing you songs, feed you like your mama, then walk you home, show you sights like you've never known. Mississippi feels like coming home. Mississippi coming home. Mississippi feels like coming home. Mississippi feels like coming home.
Since 1849, Carter Jewelers has been a part of Jackson's rich history. Over 163 years later, we've not only survived, Carter Jewelers has flourished. From generation to generation, we've established a tradition of excellence. Our reputation is built on customer satisfaction, service, and trust. Every piece of jewelry is handpicked, so you know you're getting the best value.
Nobody says I do like we do at Carter Jewelers.
Come see us and be part of our history.
Raphael, man,
Edward, good to be here.
It's good to have you here, and thank you for doing a live performance for us on this show.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me and making me do that.
You know, I mean, a professional musician who's been through so many years of working, you know, in the field. Tell us a little bit about what you've experienced. What's some of the greats you've played with, for example?
Well, I've you know, been fortunate in life, and then I've gotten to play with a couple of my heroes. Got to do a show, blues-wise. I got to do a show with John Lee Hooker years ago for a large crowd here in the Jubilee Jam years. And I've had an opportunity to play a number of times with Mose Allison, which was a very meaningful experience for me. You know, Mose is, I guess you could say, he's the guy that took the blues out of the Delta and went into the jazz world, and you know, he's just an amazing icon, you know. And had an opportunity to play with pretty much you name it, and I've had a lot of good opportunities. I mean, one time even Tiny Tim, you know, from the sublime to the ridiculous.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Well, do you have any memories of Tiny Tim?
Yeah, he was a nice cat.
Was he nice?
He was all right.
Was
yeah.
he kind of a little strange, or?
Yeah, he was. I mean, in the green room, he was just a real nice guy. He's
very quiet. I remember kind of quiet, seeing him on television.
Yeah, kind of quiet. You know,
kind of a unassuming chap. Was his hair long at the time?
Yes, yes. The real name is Herbert Corey, I believe, is his real name. And we made sure not to bring up the alimony thing with Miss Vicky and all that, and he stayed pretty cool.
So he was already divorced at that point?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. I didn't know. But I do remember him getting married.
It's another thing Malcolm got me into. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I remember when he got married on the Johnny Carson show, right?
Yeah, we actually did that for the St. Patty's parade concert one year. And that was quite
that is something.
A fun thing.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, but some of the other folks you've played with, like in the rock and roll arena, have you played with any of our heroes growing up? You know.
Yeah, a few, because you know a lot of times they travel and they do pick up bands and things like that. So we've had some fun. Well, I'll say one of the most memorable times was we went. You remember Hamilton, Joe Frank, and Reynolds?
Yeah.
And George Sanford and Joe Frank Corolla years ago, after I had not been in Jackson very long, had an opportunity to go actually into like Poland, East Germany, and this was a very special tour that had been lined up, and it was like behind the wall, you know. And so we played at the Olympic Stadium in Budapest and different things like that. And one of the festivals we played in was called the Mississippi Band, and Joe Frank and George fronted the band. Jimmy Jarrett was there. We had a great band. Some of the Dino Zimmerman from the Malaco band, house band was on guitar, and Ken Shaw on drums. And it was you know, he had played with Ronnie Millsap and others, so it was a great band and a great experience. And so we were playing it at a big festival, and I think it was about 36,000 there. And Donovan, remember?
Yeah.
Donovan was there and asked that we play with him, and I think we did Atlantis, and you know, I don't know, we did some stuff, but that was quite a fun deal with all those people singing along, and it was great.
Wow, that is amazing.
You know?
Yeah, Donovan was great. Don't you think so?
Yeah, Donovan was, you know, he had his moment.
I mean,
you
he
know?
did.
Yeah.
I heard an interview with him on Howard Stern show just recently, and they were talking about how, you know, in some of the things that he went through at that time with all that stuff going on. I mean, him and Paul McCartney and stuff that they would do and songs that they kind of co-wrote, behind the scenes. It was really amazing. He was real, and he's still going.
Yeah.
Even today, he's still very much, he might not be in everyone's mindset as a recording artist anymore, but he's still very much out there and a very vibrant guy,
Yeah, and got a chance to do a little thing with Bo Diddley, and so there've been a lot of great
Those guys,
opportunities that I've had a great time.
Well, we want to have you back as a regular guest. Thanks.
Thanks.
And
Thank you.
anything that's going on that you want to get the word out on, stop by and let's have you back on the show and talk about them.
Well, I just mainly want to encourage people to get out and support live music. That's really important, especially here in our capital city.
Right.
And also, there are just amazing musicians here that literally crafted popular music. I mean, there's from my hometown, there's Eddie Chank Willis that played on all the Motown records. I mean, these folks are here, talk to them, get out and support the young guys that are who may be the next big thing,
That's right.
And so, yeah, everybody just play and get out and listen.
Raphael, thank you.
Thank you.
That's Raphael
Appreciate it,
Simmons.
Edward.
Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you.
It's an honor to have you here.
Thank you, sir.
And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching our program tonight. This is Nightique, and we'll see you next time right here